What's going on, guys? I've got a sick video for you today. If you are a coach or a consultant and you're noticing that not enough of your front end buyers are actually ascending into your back end offer, you're going to love this one. And also, if you hate sitting on sales calls all day on Zoom with people who say, let me think about it, or they don't even bother to show up at all, then you're going to love what I've got for you today. All right. This is a little bit more advanced, okay? But I'm pretty sure that what I show you in this training, you're not going to have seen this before, all right? So stick around. Super, super powerful strategy for getting more of your customers to actually become clients on the back end. Anyway, without further ado, let's dive in. All right, guys, let's get into this before my laptop dies on me. But what I want to talk about here is basically a lever that you can look at in your coaching business, which can drastically increase the number of clients that you get. All right. This was a game changer for me. So if you're a coach, consultant, you're looking to scale to 50 grand a month, 100 grand a month, this is something that you should seriously look at, because this held me back for a long time in my early days. And when I realized this, it completely changed the game. All right. So we're going to talk about how to turn more of your customers into clients. So if you're offering something on the front end, whether that be a lead magnet, paid product, a lot of people notice that not enough of those front end customers actually become high ticket clients. Yeah. And I used what I'm about to show you now to go from 1% of customers becoming high ticket clients, which is average, to 6%, which is unheard of, extremely high. All right. Now, before we get into this, let me just quickly show you right here. This is my Stripe account. All right, as you can see here, these are daily payouts. So 2 grand, 2 grand, 3 grand, 5 grand, 11 grand, 5 grand, 2, 7, 2, 4, 6, 3, 5. So I'm just showing you this so that you know that I'm not full of shit, basically, right? So we average out about 3 or 4 grand a day in the business, and that's somewhere in the region of let's say 100 grand a month, right? And I'm just going to run you through how I do it. All right, so I'm going to touch on that as I go. So let's dive right in. So most coaches think that there are two ways to grow their business, and I did for a very long time. So I thought either I need to get more customers coming in on the front end, okay, or I need to increase my conversion rate. So like get more of my customers to buy, which sounds reasonable, okay? But the problem is you're going to hit a wall with both of these, right? So if you just try and get more and more and more customers, what's going to happen is, you increase your ad spend. Every time you increase your ad spend, your ad costs are going to go up. So your cost per click is going to go up. Your cost to acquire a customer is going to go up. So the more you push your spend, the thinner your margins get. And this happened to me a while ago, right? It got to the point where I want to push the spend, but then every time I push the spend, the margins get eaten up. And then you start losing money. So you have to back off again. Yeah. Second one, as you can see here on screen, is to increase your conversion rate. So if you get 100 customers and you're converting one of them, well, if I can get that to 2, if I can get that to 3, then you make more money, which sounds reasonable. Okay. But you're faced with a problem that I'm about to explain. So I went into the back end of my business when I was in this position, right? And I dove into Kajabi, and I asked myself this question: how many people actually finish what they bought? I had this big epiphany when I was in the gym one day. And I asked myself this question, and I couldn't wait to get home and log into Kajabi, which is what I was using at the time, and look at this number. I wanted to know how many people finish the thing that they bought from me. And the answer was 8%. 8% of people buy my low ticket product. If I get 100 people buy the low ticket product, 8% of them will go in through it in its entirety. And I thought, wow, that's absolutely dreadful. Okay. And then I looked at my last 50 clients because I wanted to know, are my clients coming from that 8%, or are some of them coming from that 92%? And what I found was, out of my last 50 clients, 100% of them came from that 8%. They'd all finished my low ticket product. And I was like, holy shit, because this means 100% of my revenue is coming from 8% of my buyers. And then the other 92% is making me $0. Right? This was a huge epiphany for me. So then I rethought what a client or what a potential client is, right? Because somebody doesn't become a potential client when they opt in and give you their email address. A lot of coaches, they think that, right? Get more leads, get more leads. It doesn't matter. Like, you can give someone your email address. It doesn't mean you're a potential client. You know, I get emails every single day from people, and I've been getting emails from them for the past year, and I see their name pop up every day in my inbox. And if you ask me, who is that? I'd be like, I have no fucking idea who that is. I don't even know what their face looks like, right? Because I ended up on their list ages ago, and I keep getting these emails, but I'm not a potential client because I've never consumed any of their stuff. Yeah. And somebody doesn't even become a potential client when they buy a product. So again, a lot of people, they want to make front end sale, front end sale, front end sale. But if people aren't consuming the product, they're not a potential client, right? They become a potential client when they consume. Here on the screen, it says they become a client when they consume. That should say potential client. People only become a potential client when they go through your product. That's what bridges that gap, okay? And this is the third lever, it's consumption. You have to get people consuming the product. A lot of people, they see like the front, when they run a low ticket funnel, they see the front end, like the sale as the finish line. They run ads, they drive people to the landing page, someone buys. Now it's like, next customer, someone buys, next customer. They just want to drive people into the funnel, right? The sale is not the finish line. The sale is the starting line. That's a massive reframe for you. The sale is the starting line. When somebody buys your product, that is when they are at a stage where they can begin to become a potential client. They're not already a potential client. Okay, bear that in mind. So I thought to myself, wow, so I'm getting X amount of customers. 1% of them are becoming clients. If I could get this 8% of people who are going through my product, if I could get that to like 15, 20%, surely I could get twice as many clients, right? Or at least increase my revenue significantly. So what I did was I rehashed my front end offer into what I now call a milestone offer. Okay. Now, a milestone offer is a front end offer. A lot of the time you can take your existing front end offer in some cases and you restructure it in a way that forces consumption. And this forces your customers to basically speed nurture themselves. So this is what we're doing at the moment with our low ticket offer. It's crazy effective. I'll show you an example in a minute, right? But it's built to force consumption. So the way that it works is it's around 5 trainings. It could be 4, it could be 6, right? But generally 5 trainings. And what you want to do is you want to gate each one so that it unlocks when somebody watches the previous one. Yeah. So instead of having like, let's say people do like a 90-minute or a 2-hour workshop, right? Or a 2-hour webinar. Nobody wants to sit there for 2 hours, right? And also they kind of know that this is just going to be, it's going to be a pitch fest at the end. So people drop off. But if you take that same content, those same belief shifts, and you break it up into 4 or 5 trainings, what you'll notice is people go to the next one, they go to the next one, they go to the next one. Okay. Now, what you want to do, what's really important is once they get through the first 5 trainings, there's a bonus that they can unlock. All right. And you give them a deadline to get through those trainings. So this creates urgency. It has to be a legitimate deadline, not like a fake deadline. Yeah. And this used to be really difficult to set up, but now with, you know, AI and stuff like that, you can make this smooth as hell. Yeah. So you say, get through these trainings and then you unlock this one, right? And then at the end of these trainings, what you can do is you can sell your high ticket offer. And when we started doing this, people started coming to us and just saying like, I'm ready to go. Send me the link. Yeah. And now I haven't even been on Zoom with anybody in probably 4 months or so. Like, I do not take calls anymore. Like, people just come and they buy, you know, and the numbers that I showed you before, like, this is without sales calls. That's like unheard of. Yeah. This is without sales calls. People just approaching us and buying. Right. We've got a few minutes till the laptop dies. So yeah, you need a deadline. It has to be a legitimate deadline, and you need some kind of bonus that they can unlock if they get through the content. Now, the beauty of this is they are incentivized to get through the content, but by the time they get through the content, they're nurtured, right? Like, they've nurtured themselves. Crazy powerful. All right. So like I said, 2 triggers that pull them through. First of all, they're chasing the bonus. That's positive urgency. And there's negative urgency, right? If they don't get to the bonus within 3, 4, 5 days, they lose it. Yeah. So you'll find a lot of people now will consume your content in its entirety. And like I said, we get people message us like, I'm in, send me the link, and that's it. So this is the only method I've ever discovered that allows me to sell without sales calls, but also without being in the DMs all day. Because you'll hear so many people like, sell without calls, sell through a Google Doc, right? You can't just take your high ticket offer and turn it into a fucking Google Doc and think that people are going to buy it. It's not how it works. And you'll be spending 4 hours a day DMing people back and forth, in which case I'd rather just get on a few calls, to be honest with you. But with this, we literally get people just jumping in like via a checkout page to our program, right? It's insane. So here's why this works. Yeah. Think about it. If you go to a buffet and let's say you have like 20 different foods in front of you, what do? You're like, I'll have a little bit of that and I'll have a little bit of that. And then, and then you leave, right? But if you go to like a fancy restaurant and you do like a 10-course tasting menu and each course comes out one at a time, well, you eat all 10 of them, right? They bring it, you eat it. They bring the next one, you eat it. You don't say, actually, I don't want the first, second, third, fourth one. I'm going to wait for the 5th one. No, you eat it as it's available. Yeah. It's the same with your offer, right? If you give people your pieces of your offer one at a time in sequence, they'll consume it like that. If you give somebody a whole course, they'll jump in, they'll look at this video, they'll skip, they'll look at that video, and then they'll disappear forever. Yeah. So when I did this, my completion rate went from 8% to 48%. So that's a 6x increase in consumption. And we went from 8% to 48% in terms of consumption, and we went from 1 to 6% in terms of conversion. So it 6x'd the conversion rate as well. Right now, just to be transparent, we didn't 6x our revenue because we stopped selling through calls, changed our price point, started selling straight to checkout, things like that. But we did experience a super significant increase in revenue. Okay. So from 8% to 48%, and it's actually higher than this now. Like, when we implemented this first, we went from 8 to 48, but now it's 63, 64, something like that. Okay. So this used to be a bit of a pain to set up. Like I mentioned before, you had to like grant access manually. You had to keep track of everybody's deadlines and revoke offers and grant offers. It was a bit of a shit show, if I'm being completely honest with you. But now, the only reason I'm teaching this now is because it's so easy to implement, whereas before it was a tech nightmare. So I didn't really teach it because I don't like overwhelming people with tech. But now you can automate this whole process with AI. Okay. Now, if you want to see how this is done, you can check out my milestone offer method workshop. I'm not trying to like sell you this to make money or anything like that, but it's way easier to actually look at this in action and see how it all works so that you can build it for yourself rather than me just kind of explaining it, right? So basically, this is what it looks like. And you can create something similar. We do give our clients this actual platform so that like everything's built out. All you do, you just plug the videos in. But essentially you can see here, right? You've got lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the bonus lesson. Now, you can't get to these next lessons, right, until you complete the assignment for the first lesson. So if you look under here, you'll see, like, we've got people going through this right now. We run ads to this right now, yeah. And it's funny because we get a lot of comments under here, and they're just like, "This is crazy," which is always good, right? So as you go through the trainings, it unlocks the next trainings, and then the last one is how to scale the system to 50K a month, right? So like I said, you can jump in. I'll leave a link in the description. This is only $7, right? If you don't love it, just send me an email. I'll send it back, right? I don't care about $7. The only reason I've put this as $7 is so that people do something with it instead of just shelf it, yeah? So I'll leave a link down below where you can go to this page, jump in, have a look at this, because as you go through here and you see how everything works, you'll understand the method way more than me trying to just explain it on a YouTube video, okay? But the biggest takeaway from this video for so many of you watching is going to be, you don't need more customers. You don't need higher conversions across the board. What you need is more consumption. Okay, if you can get more of the people that you bring in on the front end to consume the thing that they actually purchased, everything else gets easier, right? And this is when you'll be selling your high ticket program like hotcakes without begging people to get on calls. Because when you send someone a DM, "Hey, just checking in. Hey, just seeing if you want to do XYZ. I'd love to help you." Like, all this does is says to that person, "I need you more than you need me," right? It puts them in the power position, right? Someone who's a real authority, they don't run around sending DMs to strangers trying to book calls. There's a better way, all right? And it's this. So the final word here really is, if somebody doesn't consume your product, there is a precisely 0% chance of them becoming a client, right? You have to get them to consume the product if they're ever going to be in with a shot of buying your high ticket offer. And the milestone offer method is a fantastic way to do that, right? So check it out if you want. Other than that, guys, I hope you found this valuable. I'll leave another video here for you to watch as well. Dive in. I'm going to be pumping out content in the coming weeks, showing you some pretty advanced stuff, you know, not just the typical like fluffy bullshit that you see on YouTube, but like, we're in the trenches right now doing this shit, and I want to share some stuff with you that nobody else is sharing. All right, so hit subscribe if you haven't already. Watch this video as well. I'll just leave it here. And other than that, I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.